Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to give you guys my pick or my breakdown of the Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez main event fight. This is UFC Denver. They're fighting at elevation. I've already picked every single fight on this fight card. If you want to see them, become an MVP. Go to the Patreon, search Rico Knows. I'm doing really well. I want to tell you guys that right now. I always give away the main event for free. I always give away the first fight of the night for free. But when it comes to all the other picks, props, parlays, I don't give those away for free. You got to be a member. You got to see it. It's $25 a month. We have 3,500 members. Shout out to them. It's just something we do, right? I do this. I pick fights. So when I look at Rose Namajunas, this is UFC royalty. She's one of the greatest fighters of all time, women fighters of all time, maybe just fighters, period. She's great. We call her Thug Rose. She beat some all-time greats, Hall of Famers. And when you look at who she's lost to, it's some of the best fighters in the world, at least on the women's side. Yes, there's some stylistic issues here where she's lost to wrestlers and things of that nature. But what it really comes down to is Pat the Groomer Barry, okay? Pat the Groomer Barry. If you guys don't know Pat Barry, he used to be a fighter in the UFC. Great, known for leg kicks, big, strong guy. And then all of a sudden, he went out and he started grooming this chick when she was young. He picked her out of the crowd and said, "You're going to be my disciple. You're going to be my little girl." And then he started dating her and had her shave her head and made her a mental case. And now she walks around chanting mantras and she can't do an interview without crying. Like, there's something wrong with this young lady. And what it is she got taken advantage of by an older guy who manipulated her into thinking that she needed him. And now they've kind of just gone off into their own world where she doesn't know any better. And I don't think she's getting in the right fight camps in the right places with the right people, and she's just regressing. Every time we see her, she's just not any good, and it's getting worse. The fight against Amanda Ribas did not impress me. The loss against Carla Esparza, if you ever get a chance, go watch the whole fight. It is absurd that she has, I think Trevor Whitman's in her corner for that fight. She has a good coach in her fight. Good coaches in her corner, and they're telling her things, and then Pat Barry's like, "Stick to the game plan. We're doing great. Stick to the game." Mind you, she goes out there in one round and does not land a single strike. I think she might have landed 2 or 3 strikes in one round, and they're like, "Stick to the game plan. We're doing it. We're doing it." And the game plan was apparently lose your belt and never get it back. The game plan was just let this girl beat you because you're afraid of a takedown. And now she's a dynamic striker. She looks amazing. She's good at everything she does, but it's just one of those things, right? Then she's fighting Tracy Cortez. And I'm cool with Tracy Cortez. Beautiful woman, by the way, Tracy Cortez. 30 years old, 11-1. She lost her very first fight ever. Obviously got caught in a guillotine. Cool. And then she started winning. And the one that impresses me the most, or most impressive win, if you ever want to know, it's against Erin Blanchfield down here. This win on the regional scene, I say regional scene, it was at Invicta, but this win is everything, okay? This win is huge for me. And then you just show up and you just start beating, quality opponents in these last 2. But the problem I have here is this young woman, she is going up against one of the greatest fighters in the world. Like, straight up, on short notice. And you go from beating Jasmine Jazz Devicious. Now, Jazz Devicious, she outstruck her. So Jazz Devicious is a Canadian wrestler. She's on the prelim for this card. So the last person you fought is on the prelims. And now you're going from the prelims to Rose Namajunas. Guys, that's a big gap. That's crazy. Quality win against Gato, but I'm just telling you, you fought down here, and then all of a sudden you're going to fight Jordan. You're right. If you won a one-on-one game and you're like, "Yeah, I could beat anybody," and they're like, "Oh, who'd you beat?" "Well, I beat Shane Battier." You're like, "All right, you beat Shane Battier. Well, who's next?" "Jordan." It just doesn't work for me, bro. You're not doing it. So beating Rose is tough. I think Rose can overcome her terrible coach and the terrible corner. One thing that Rose has going for her is she's fought a lot of 5-round fights. A ton of 5-round fights in her career, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And she's gone the distance in those 5-round fights, and she's looked fresh. She doesn't look exhausted. We've never seen her gassed out or anything like that. Tracy Cortez is going to be in trouble. She goes the distance all the time. Don't get me wrong. She's a decision merchant, right? She's a dominant grappler, except for that last fight. She's a dominant grappler who kind of just gets in position and wins the round. She's not a threat to finish anything. Look at this. 1 knockout, 1 submission. She doesn't finish fights. Rose can do some things. She's here to finish. Tracy Cortez does not finish fights. Decision merchant all day. First and foremost, I think this fight is going the distance. I think this fight will go the distance. You can go ahead and bet it if we show you the sports book here. Will the fight go the distance? Where is it at? It is currently at a minus 240. Okay, so they expect it to go the distance. What are the over rounds? It's going to be worse, right? Total rounds. Yeah. Okay, you can parlay that with some other time parlay you guys want to do. Mind you, I provide all these prop bets on the card. But what I want to tell you guys is this fight's going the distance, and I think Rose gets it done. I just saw the weigh-in, and if you don't know what's going on in this picture here, Tracy Cortez had to cut some hair off to make weight. She cut her hair off to make weight for this fight. Okay? And you see, and she starts crying. She's emotional. She's cutting her hair off. She's doing her best Rose impersonation by crying. Now, I don't like chicks with short hair, but there's Rose, and she just looks like an orphan. Oh, my God. She looks like an orphan. By the way, when Rose grows her hair out, beautiful girl. Go look at the photos. Go find them. But Tracy, taking the fight on short notice, having a really hard weight cut, and then having to step up in competition, having a worse, for me, those big three are enough for me to say I'm taking Rose. I'm taking Rose's championship experience. I know her coaches are terrible, but Rose is an athlete. She's really good. Now, it might scare you. There might be a problem here where Tracy gets a takedown, and it frustrates you, because if Tracy gets the takedown for 2 rounds, Rose has got to get on her bike and not let that happen. I want to tell you that Rose is good enough to defend takedowns and go. Trust me, if she didn't get taken down against Carla Esparza for 5 rounds, she can do that here against Tracy Cortez. I think she can. Give me Rose, and then now let me say this. I can't show you guys the full fight card, but I'm telling you that Rose beating Tracy Cortez, for me, on this particular fight card, is a lock. There are only 2 locks on the entire fight card, okay? One thing I want to tell you guys about my locks, and I can show this to you. I'll drag it into the screen because this video is free. And the MVPs know what's up. If you get to the Patreon, you can become a member on YouTube or Patreon. But if you guys look, the locks are at 83% on the season. So when I tell you it's a lock, I'm not playing. Now, if you go look, yes, I said a lock. It's a minus 1,800. That's not hard to get right, Rico. A minus 300. That's not hard to get right, Rico. A minus 520. When you see the red, don't worry about the red. Those are just fights we didn't bet on. When you see the white text, that means it was a lock. And when I tell you it's a lock, even if it's minus 140, if I feel that way, it's going to be there. That enables us to hit all the props and parlays. But if I can go on to tell you guys, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 locks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 locks, and I'm not even counting the props and parlays that were considered locks, because there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 so far. Let me go back. 14, 15, 16, 17. See these in black text? That means it's a lean. So 17 locks in a row. Let's keep going. 18, 19, 20. There's the first miss on a lock. 20-1 on locks. In the last 21 locks, I'm 20-1. Let's go to Louisville. 1, 2, let's keep going. 20-1, 21-1, 22, 23, 24, 25. If you see green text, I missed the lock. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 2 and 3. 36 and 3 on locks, guys. I am 36 and 3 on locks in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight cards. This is not a game over here. Shout out to the MVPs. We're going to keep winning. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. I'll see you guys in the final video. I'll show all the locks, all the picks, all the props, but you got to be an MVP. Get to the Patreon. I'm out.